Good Thursday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and welcome. All systems are working today. We don't have the issues that we did yesterday morning. And again, I apologize for the delays and me trying to figure out what was going on. As my technical people told me when I built this, make sure you name things that are recognizable. I'll never need that. Well, I did yesterday. You learn from your mistakes, but everything is fixed and working today. And thank you for joining us. Right now, 61 as we wait for a high of 89. It is one of those nice, cool mornings that you just can't help but want to sit outside and enjoy. Almost forget that you've got responsibilities to go somewhere else. Enjoy it while you can. Have a cup of coffee and sit back and take the day in. We never know how many of those we have left, do we? Enjoy it. Well, let's see. As we begin today, one of the big things that is making the national headlines that we want to bring up is about the railroad strike. It's a possibility that has been diverted, that negotiations are going to work. That was a very scary thing that we did not need right now. Should that have gone down, prices would have shot through the roof. It would have been astronomical to make a living had that happened. A railway carries so many goods across the United States. So hopefully that's been taken care of. That's what we're looking at. As we glance at radar this morning, let's take a look at what we've got as we begin this before we get into some headlines and finding out what's going on. As we pull up Meridian Honda radar, we do show this morning all is clear in the state of Mississippi. That's pretty nice. If you're traveling 20 west, you'll get into some fog there around Monroe, Louisiana, if you're headed toward that Texas direction. We do have a few showers off the coast of Louisiana, nothing bad, and also off the coast of Florida, a few showers there. We'll be seeing more over here in the next little bit. Lots of fog as usual as we go through the Murfreesboro area up to Nashville. As we look across Charleston, West Virginia, just loads of fog, and on into Cincinnati as you drop off that big hill there going into town. A lot there. Be careful in that traffic. Chicago as well this morning. As we go across, we see showers in Nebraska as well as Casper, Wyoming. Look at that. A little bit of showers there. Grand Junction out in Colorado as well. And then just fog kind of scattered all throughout the areas there. We'll be looking at these this morning as this has become a tropical storm. This morning we're sitting at gusts of 63, wind speeds of 52 miles an hour, moving to the west at 13 miles an hour. And as you'll see here, and we'll look at this again when it comes to looking at what the National Weather Service tells us, it looks to take a hook right before it comes up, which would be good. Florida will probably get some rain, but not a direct hit is what the preliminaries are looking like. Again, this is going to be Tuesday, the last of it right here as we look at this. We'll watch it closely, see what happens there. Haiti will get some rain out of that, and it will get a little bit of a storm out of that. But at this point, a tropical storm. Let's hope it stays that way. It doesn't get any bigger. We've been so fortunate this year when it comes to hurricanes. Not over yet. We've got until November the 1st when hurricane season officially finally comes to an end. I believe it's the 1st. I'll double check myself. All right, let's get into some stories this morning of what's going on. I did get a report in Neshoba County on County Road 337. We got a tree down that's partially in the road here. It's a gravel road. As we take a look at this, we pull this up this morning right there. Power companies will go out in just a little bit and take care of that for everyone. We do hope that's handled there. No one's without power. By the way, I did get an answer to what happened out in the Russell area. We had that power outage. The wind blew, and it was a mile or two down the road that a tree fell and knocked the power out. Took it out there at Russell Christian Academy a day or so ago. Those things do happen. All right, as we begin this, we got an update from Clark County. The car that was stolen has been recovered. And if you remember what I'm talking about, we posted about this yesterday, that a Corvette had been stolen. The two have been taken into custody. That's real good news. They're still, I think they'd made it all the way to Gulfport with the car. The car is back en route toward Clark County. That's a good thing as we look at that. Thank you to that. Now, as last night began, there were several gunshots. The first gunshots that we would receive would be reported in this area here in the 2200 block of 26th Street. And then we click on this. We'll see here. Here's Magnolia Cemetery. This would be just west of Point Rexall. If you're going up there, Poplar Springs, it would be just west, right there at the turn. that you go. I know that's not big enough. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Right there where the road turns to go up Poplar Springs, it'd be here to the west there. No one was hit, no one was injured in that. Now, our next case that we come up, gunshots did ring out. It would be a little bit different story. Although no one was hit, a home and 2 cars were hit last night. Now, I'm told by those that were there that this was over 20 rounds fired. I said that kind of wrong. It's early, isn't it? As we look at this, MPD did respond to this. Now, this is a familiar area. Let's zoom in on this and just show you what went on here. This is Highway 19, as we've seen so much crime in this area here. This would be to the west. Here's Mid-South Welding. It would be right back here. 55th Avenue and Arthur Street. And 56 in that area. We had 2 homes hit. Actually, it was 1 home and 2 cars that were struck. Needs to stop, doesn't it? This does fall under Ward 5, Tybell. If you're in that neighborhood there, that's who your council person is for the Meridian area. We see this night after night after night. It's a shame. Now, without a doubt, as sun is breaking this morning, make sure that you check everything that you've got. I think there was a lot of mischief going on in the overnight hours in our area. And what I mean by mischief, those that will want to take what's yours. I've gotten several reports, and we'll go over this over the last 24 hours. We'll go even deeper into this at 8 a.m. of what we know and what's happening in our area there. Bad, 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 bad. Let's see, we did have a car catch on fire yesterday. This would be on Highland Avenue. As we pull this up to take a look at this, the 3400 block has a car caught on fire. The Meridian Fire Department responded, got that taken care of fairly quickly there. But that does happen occasionally when a car fire. We've seen 2 or 3 of those over the last few days. Now, as I mentioned, mischief and people borrowing things that they shouldn't. A construction site last night was one of those sites that people, took a flatbed truck, backed up, and started taking supplies. Meridian Police Department was called. They didn't make it in time. As we look here at North Hill Street and you go due south 10th Avenue, right in this area right here. This would be where the thieves would back up and take building materials, that they wanted. Sure, it's a quick sale somewhere that they can go pawn it off and make $1 or $2. It's bad when you're trying to build something or construct something and people take what's yours. Hate that they didn't get there. We also had a report out on Highway 19 South of someone trying to break into a building in the 1800 block of Highway 19 South out near Mount Carmel Baptist Church, directly across the road from there. Deputies do all they can to stop all of this. We got some folks that just keep this up consistently. Good news this morning as we look at this, as 2 more arrests have been made. We got the note from the Meridian Police Department yesterday in the death of the 5-year-old little boy. Y'all remember that, don't you, back in 2020, of the young man that lost his life in his home, minding his own business. 2 more arrests have been made this time, and I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. LaKendra Campbell and Demetrius Camper were apprehended by the U.S. Marshals, the Coast Task Force, Meridian Special Operations Unit. They were both charged with second-degree murder of the 5-year-old. Forest County is where Campbell was taken, and then Camper was taken in the city limits of Meridian. That's a total of 4 people now that have been arrested for the death of that young man. Sad it is, but we are glad that justice is finally reaching those that deserve it. Now it will be up to our court systems to handle this. Now, this is still under investigation. Could there be more? It could be. I have not had a chance this week to speak with the MPD about that, of what their thoughts are, and I'll try to do that this week to see what more we can find out about this. We do have somebody missing from Jasper County, a lovely young lady who's 28 years old. We posted this yesterday. To my knowledge, she has not been found. They're asking for assistance to find her. Alexis Rivas, she's 28 years old. They have found a missing report on her, and we do hope that she is found. If you've seen her, you can call the Jasper County Sheriff's Department at 764-2588. Many ways to do that. You can do it online if you happen to notice something, and we do hope she's found. We see constant fender benders throughout the day, don't we? I'm sure that you encounter those, and I appreciate each and every one of you sending those as we post these for people to go around. Let's not forget again, as we get caught up in our day-to-day routine in the Meridian area about I-20 and that bridge being blocked underneath I-20 as you're the northbound lane coming from Sam's. A big detour there. You won't be able to make it through there. So keep it in mind as you travel, for lunch, whatever the case may be. A 3-week period there. Let's see what else we got. Let's move around. Now, this is good for the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. They are receiving a $5.8 million grant. They're going to be building a new training center. They employ roughly 5,000 people, if not more, there on the reservation. This will help train people. That is great news. We're glad that they're getting their fair share and will be able to train better. A Brookhaven woman. And there's several tragedies as we look across the state of Mississippi over the last 24 hours of incidents that have happened. We go to Brookhaven, which is due south of here, south of Jackson, down that area. It's a huge area that has a Sam's distribution center. If you've never been through Brookhaven, most have, but not everybody. A 44-year-old woman has been pronounced dead. She was driving along and shots were fired. She was struck in her car. Car veered off the road. She's been found. An investigation is underway as to what happened on that. There's more of those. We look around the state of who did it, we don't know. It's not in just one neighborhood. It's across the entire state of Mississippi. We see it more and more. Here we look at Pontotoc, Mississippi, which is in northern Mississippi. A toddler hit. Drive-by shooting. Well, the child's going to be okay, but the child was struck nonetheless. Noxubee County, not far from here, the Macon, Mississippi area. They're also investigating a drive-by shooting. No serious injuries, but still, they're investigating that. We go to Jones County next as we look into what's happening there. A driver was killed and a passenger is in serious condition after a wreck happened. The passenger was thrown out, no seatbelt. The driver was killed instantly in the wreck. That happened in the Pleasant Grove Road at the intersection of Hardy Hodge Road. Horrible, horrible, horrible. We pass along condolences to those and family members. And yet we have more of this. Yazoo. We all know where Yazoo, it was kind of made famous there from Jerry Clower and part of Mississippi. A young lady has passed away in a head-on collision there. A 21-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene. Jaws of Life had to remove her. Her family's been notified. She's been identified as Skylar Ballou. Again, we pass along condolences with that as we take a glimpse of what's going on across the United States and in our state. This happened not long ago. A year, maybe it's been 2. I sometimes get caught up in how long an event has been. I do remember. Do y'all remember when hackers hit the 911 system in Clark County? Well, it's happened again, and this time Mississippi utilities from Mississippi, Ohio, there's other states that's been involved in this. It was attacked by Iranian hackers. They've made an arrest. They've arrested 3 people out of this. The alleged hijacking took place between October through last month. The indictment was issued, and they've arrested those. They've broken into several. And it's Mississippi all the way to Wyoming. They even attacked Wyoming. And they demand money or they release information, make it where you can't get power. We've got to do something. That is one of the things across our nation that we're not really protected on. As more and more, as we well know, Russia is not above doing that to us, do we? For this is starting to get some traction. It started out with really one Mississippi news media telling it how it was. It was pretty much all blown off. No one covered it. No one wanted to talk about it. But each day, this gets more and more, as I've seen where ABC News nationally now has picked up the story and ran with it, as we will find out more and more as more ask questions about, well, the welfare scandal in Mississippi is getting deeper and deeper. As we mentioned yesterday, the text messages came out between the governor and Brett Favre, who the governor said he didn't know anything. This all ties to the new family that has already pleaded guilty and has been sentenced. They are working with authorities as they release information on this. What will Tate do? Will he do the right thing? Let me think. Oh, yeah, the attorney that was investigating that was fired. Now, I'm not accusing the governor or anything, but sure doesn't look good, does it? a white-collar crime, and let me be clear about this, and I think most people agree with this, a white-collar crime is just as bad as somebody walking into a convenience store and stealing money with a gun. You're taking from those that need it. We've got 2 in jail already. How deep does this go? Now, as you'll know, Brett Favre has returned his money. I'm not accusing him of anything. Nothing's been proved. He returned the $1 million that he got for services that, well, it never took place. The state is after $200,000 more for investigations. What is the ties? This goes up the ladder. Welfare funds used for things that shouldn't have been. Oh, I'm speaking of the volleyball facility at USM. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those that goes down in the history books. And it is getting traction to where it was hidden pretty well there from the rest of the nation for quite some time. There's probably a lot of people connected with this right now that is sitting at home right now trying to have a cup of coffee, sweating, worried about what the next move is. Not everybody can hide all of this. This may have already reached a situation to where it's too big to stop it now. We'll see as America and I and you watch what happens next. We have sad news for a trucker from Mississippi. This is awful for him and his family. A trucker, let me see as we get this right, in Pennsylvania was on a job. His brakes went out on his rig, and it was obvious there was nothing that he could do. At that point, he decided it was time to bail out of the vehicle as it was getting ready to crash. He did not make it after he jumped out of the rig. He was from Amory, Mississippi. We pass along condolences to the family of Alexander Johnson. He was 42 years old. And as we all know, Pennsylvania hills are huge. Brakes failed, and he thought his only way out was to jump. And he did not make it through those. And again, a lot of news this morning is shakes you to the bone. It makes you really appreciate what life is. It does. We don't know when our next day is. Make sure you live life to the fullest and be ready. I urge you on that. A little book there that helps you get ready for that. Tell you more about that if you need to know. D.C., I'm looking at this. Have y'all seen this? How bad is it when the mail carrier gets robbed? Now, that steps up to a larger fine because that's federal when that happens, when you rob that. Of course, they wanted the mail because, well, there's checks in the mail. That's why they rob folks who deliver mail. What a shame. Boy, Ron DeSantis is doing, what's that old saying in the South, hold my beer? Yeah, he's trying to outdo it. I think he just did it. I think he's outdone the Governor Abbott of Texas. If you haven't read the news or seen anything this morning, any of the press releases, he's flown 2 airplanes. This time he's really going to get the attention of those that, well, think that it's okay to let people in that aren't citizens of the United States. He took 2 private planes full, at least 50 people, landed at Martha's Vineyard. He's let them loose since they all agree that anybody can join the United States. They want to. Just walk on in. He's just helping them out in those areas to where, well, they can stay. That's the big headline this morning. Whoa, they're going to say some nasty things about Ron before the day is out. But I have to give him that a boy. I think he's outdone the rest of outsmarting them. Give them a taste of their own medicine. Texas, Arizona, all these border states are overran. And I'm not sure if you've seen this. This is just horrible. And I'm going to try to say it the best way that I know how. That as we go to El Paso, y'all know where El Paso, Texas is. It is the most unsanitary, and I'm trying to use my words just right, place that you can imagine. As the homeless, immigrants, all sleeping on the streets of El Paso. Now, this is where it goes that up a notch, and we're really turning into, as we look as third world countries. No other way to word it. 1,000 people plus sleeping on the seats. Let me remind you that there are no bathrooms. What do you think they're doing? We're told that it is one of the worst smells that you can imagine in that area. Happening in America. What is the administration 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue going to do? Certainly looks like they're just going to let more in. Come on in. We never know who enters our country anymore if they're a threat to our country. It's easy to get in, and as we all know, history can repeat itself. That's what worries me. The stock market maybe will get better, as we saw one of the worst days a few days ago. The railroad crisis that was hopefully diverted of the strike not going to happen will help save that. We certainly hope. Anybody keep up with Harry and Meghan? I'm not big fans of theirs at all. I normally glance over any headline. This one did caught my eye. They're angry this morning. Whoa. I wonder why. Well, if you hadn't said all that about your kinfolks and just kept your mouth shut, it wouldn't have been bad. But they're angry because it is let loose that Archie, their children, and Livet will not get their HRH titles when they are appointed. Y'all decided to do all of that. Let's keep that in mind. I don't quite feel sorry for them. They chose to make money and make the royal family look bad. I do think it's his wife, and I think y'all agree with that, leading him by a nose ring. Boy can't think for himself. He will live to regret that, and I think we all know that as well. We've got your forecast next. We're going to get deep into that, find out what today brings as we look around. And don't forget, we're coming back at 8 o'clock this morning, too, with more news stories about what's going on in Mississippi, what's happening in our neighborhoods. And, well, we have to have you be a part of that each and every day. So we got your forecast on the way. Y'all don't rush off. We got that next. As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South, 601-693-4054. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, or conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Don't forget, we'll have another round of tornado season coming up late in the year. As always, be prepared for that. They can help you out if you're looking for a shelter. Learn more about that. Good morning. Already 6:52 as we begin your day. 61. Not bad weather at all, is it? But it will climb. We're going from 61 to a high of 89 in just a little bit. Be prepared for that. It won't be bad, though. Today seems to be another perfect sunshiny day that we needed. We've been so wet here lately. Grass is growing and all is well. Let's get into your forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look back at our record highs, our record low, 1980. Wow. I was 11 years old. It was 103 on this date. I can barely remember that. In 1902, we set a cool record of 45 on this date. That's been a while ago, hasn't it? As we look at what the forecast holds for today, again today, as we said, 89 in Meridian, a tad bit cooler as we go northward up Highway 19 through Philadelphia, 87 as we go on northward of there. We make our way up toward Louisville as we pass through Noxapater, about 88 going to hold steady there, even up to Mississippi State. As we look at the Delta, 91 as we go south through Natchez, 88 over to Brookhaven, roughly 85 as we head toward the Mississippi Gulf Coast. As we go east and go into Alabama, it looks like we'll have 87 there in Demopolis at the river. We'll see 88 as well, hanging steady there in Livingston, Alabama, and York. Tuscaloosa holds steady at 88. And over to the east there, Auburn. Looks like y'all, Auburn Tigers will be sitting at about 86 today. As we look across what's happening over the next few weeks, a little bit warmer weather as you see that Mississippi above average as we start heading toward, October is not far off, is it? We're about 2 weeks out from that, not far away. As we see this, barely any normal weather out there, no cool fronts to mention over the next 2 weeks. Now, let's look at our 7-day forecast now, brought to you by our friends at Wilson Saw and Outdoor. Great folks there. If you need a chainsaw or steel, see them. That does happen. Our forecast, as we said for today, is calling for a bright, sunshiny day. We'll make it all the way to 88, 89, depending upon where you are in the area today. Not bad weather at all. As we drop down tonight, it looks like our low will hit about 63. A little bit warmer than last night, 61 this morning. But it'll be a clear sky. Nothing wrong with that. 0% chance of rain. We'll end the week on Friday with sunshine and 88. That low to reach 65 tomorrow night. Now, as the weekend progresses, each night gets a little bit warmer as we saw that warm front coming into the state of Mississippi. Saturday, 89 for a high. Look at Sunday. We're up to 90 again. And by Tuesday, we start seeing temperatures ease back in to the mid-90s, 92, 93, and then we will move into 70-degree weather at night. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to complain either about a 70-degree night either. That's nice also. 60s is better, but nothing to complain about when it comes to 70. Let's go ahead and look to another week all the way through September the 29th. What's going to happen? We see these temperatures rise all the way to 94 by the 22nd. Then finally, as we move down further right at the end of the month, about the 27th, we'll start seeing temperatures dip back again and to the low 80s as we see 83, 84 there. Small chances of rain. As a matter of fact, the biggest chance of rain that we're going to have is on the 24th, some week and a half out. And that's just really a small percentage chance. That's not big. So, and as always, as we watch what's going on, we mentioned earlier this morning about the tropics. As we pull this up, now we do have a tropical storm now. This is Fiona. That's a ferocious name, isn't it? She makes her way across. She's moving at 52 miles an hour this morning, west at 13 miles an hour. Now, let's pull this up of what the National Weather Service is telling us as it charts, and I didn't do that. But what she's going to do is get along in here and at this point, hover the coast. Let's pull this up on radar where we can get a better look at this. And I won't be looking at imaginary stuff. Let's pull it up on radar where you can see exactly what she's going to do. This is the spaghetti models as we look at this from Meridian Honda radar. As she comes across and hits the Dominican Republic, moves across there. In the British Isles, she will turn northward. That's what all indications are. It'll bring some rain, but not a direct hit here. That's what we're looking at now. Days to come, can this twist and come on in to the Carolinas? It could. But it does have an eastward northern turn there, and we hope it stays that way and stays away from land. We don't have anything yet that's coming off the coast of Africa that would affect us. A little bit of good news there. So far, we're shaping up to have one of the calmest tropical seasons ever. But again, we don't, what's that old thing about the lady singing? She's still humming. We don't want to jump ahead of the cart, do we? All right, best times to fish today. Chet's Paint and Body. They're telling us, well, a great time. Let's pull this up so you can see this. Today, around 11 o'clock, not a bad time to go out. Your best time today will be about 1 p.m. this afternoon. We'll carry that to roughly 2 o'clock. 1:30 to 2 p.m. is going to be your best times to fish today, if you got to do it. Now, the wind's going to be light northeast, becoming northeast 5 to 10 miles an hour. Starts out northwest, and then will change to the northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. If you're watching that wind, you know what to do today. That's a brief look at what we've got. In 1 hour and 1 minute, we're coming back live. We can't do it without you. We hope you'll join us. We'll be live right here at Facebook. We'll be on Twitter Live, and we'll also be on YouTube. And again, I urge each and every one of you, if you haven't followed us on other networks, to do that. Or if you're on Facebook, you have a backup plan in case something goes wrong with it. That does occasionally happen to where one doesn't work right. Now, we're also going to be on television beginning at 8 a.m. We'll go live on Fox 30 Meridian to give you one of the best, fastest local shows there are around. Join us. Candace getting ready this morning. She's got a lipstick tube out, and she's getting ready. We'll see you very soon as we begin our day together. Thank y'all so much. Right now, again, a clear sky in 61 as we bring it all to you here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: